Sparking Zero's in this weird state where everybody loves the game, but also is unhappy with the game. And I kind of agree with that, where I feel like there's things that I'm so happy that are in the game. I'm happy to even just have Sparking Zero as a whole. You know, we've been waiting for another Budokai Tenkaichi for almost 20 years, so it's about time we got one. The problem is there's a lot of problems with the actual combat. There's things that are being spammed like Key Blast. There's problems with instant sparking where there's no key sickness. There's a lot of things missing. So today we're going to talk about all the things that are missing from the previous Budokai Tenkaichis. And we're getting that video from Money Monsoon. Money Monsoon put this video together. So first of all, big shout out to you guys. Go check him out. Hit that like and subscribe on him. And then let's get into this video because I'm very interested to see what exactly he's cooked up, because apparently he put together a good list. And like I said, I'm subscribed. You guys should subscribe. But not only to him, do me a favor, hit the subscribe here, because we're getting close to 40,000 subscribers. And it means the world to me to push to 40,000. I'm trying to get myself to 100,000 by next year. And it's a tough battle. But every single subscribe helps. So please hit it. All right, let's get into it.
As a continuation to the Budokai Tenkaichi series, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero comes out as the fourth title to the original Budokai Tenkaichi trilogy. Now, originally this game was going to come out as Budokai Tenkaichi 4, but seeing as how Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is a popular mod in the gaming community, they gave Sparking Zero its own name to give it a new, fresh state in the gaming market. Now, since this game comes out as the fourth title, that means we're going to see a lot of similarities, but as well as differences to the original trilogy. And this game actually did take away a lot of the original Budokai Tenkaichi's experience. So in this video, I really just want to highlight what features did the player miss out on in Sparking Zero. What's good, YouTube? My name is Money Monsoon, and I do want to let you guys know I didn't grow up playing these games. I didn't grow up playing Ultimate Tenkaichi 1 or 2.
Whoa. I know you put it on screen, but Budokai Tenkaichi, brother. Budokai Tenkaichi. Ultimate Tenkaichi. We don't talk about that. All right, we don't know them.
But I did play Ultimate Tenkaichi 3 and had some experience with the modded 4. So I do know a lot about the original experience of this game, but my information is not going to be nearly as good as someone who's played the entire franchise through and through. But either way, in this video,
have you guys played all of the games? I feel like I only played 2 and 3, and obviously the mod 4, but I never played 1. I feel like maybe it was... No, it wasn't before my time, because it literally came out, I think, like a year before 2. So maybe I just didn't hear about it. Because I didn't hear about 2, and I think I got it as a Christmas present. And that just, like, blew my mind. Because I was playing... I think at the time, I was still playing Boost Fury and the original Budokai, like, on GameCube. I did not have any other Dragon Ball games other than that.
Starting off with the obvious, loading screens. In the Budokai Tenkaichi franchise, the old gen games weren't as quick to load into matches, to load into story mode, to load into anything. So of course, I understand
that like solid state drives have changed that we've had like so many years of loading screens, and I think it's Bandai Namco has the patent for putting mini games into their games. So I was very excited to see what mini games they put in this one. It's a little upsetting it's missing. I know it's like in the past they weren't anything crazy. It was like roll the balls around, or, you know, break the blocks, or stack up plates, make Vegeta do push-ups, whatever the case was. But I don't know. That was one of those little things that, like, to this day, if I boot up one of the old games, me and my friends are all spamming X, trying to get as many plates on Goku's table as we can.
Of course, there were loading screens. While most games did loading screens normally, Ultimate Tenkaichi did loading screens a little bit different. They gave the player loading screen mini games.
Bro, there's no way you're going to keep saying Ultimate Tenkaichi this whole video. I love you. But Budokai Tenkaichi,
which included the Gohan pulling swords from the ground, Vegeta push-ups,
and
Goku eating bowls of food. Yeah. I don't think anyone disliked this feature. This feature was just fun for the player as they loaded into games.
Dude, how many push-ups did you get in? Holy.
Now, with the introduction of less loading time, faster console experiences, that loading screens have just been taken away. And this truly I don't see making a return. Even though in Sparking Zero, we still do load into games. There is a loading time, especially if the player that you're connecting to doesn't actually have good internet. So instead, we just are sitting stuck with the black screen, and there still technically are loading screens, but now the screen's just black.
Well, not only that, I feel like if they replaced that like training CPU part in ranked, where you're like waiting for someone and you're just fighting a CPU that's standing still and practicing, I think it would be a lot better if we just had a mini game. I don't know. You guys let me know. I think that would be nice. I know some of you sweats are probably like, I need to practice my low sweeps, but like, I miss it. I miss it. I miss it.
This is a cool feature. I am really upset that we did miss out on that. So instead, I can only hope that the time it takes to load into games only gets faster, because as of right now, it still does take a tiny bit of time to load into games.
I hate to break
it's not just
break your immersion, but it's not going to get faster. It's only going to get slower as players, you know, leave. No offense. Like, I think this game is good. I'm just saying, like, it's just the normal thing to happen when a game comes out. You know, unless DLC comes out and the players spike, right? Players will play until they're bored and they pick something else up, you know, or go play Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever it is. I love my Call of Duty. I play a lot of it. I'm probably going to start playing a little bit of COD on stream just to like have other things going on. If you guys don't follow my Twitch, go follow it. I'll put the link on screen. But, you know, I want to be able to play other games other than Dragon Ball, but this is a Dragon Ball channel, if that makes sense. But my point is that players leave games. So that queue time is only going to take longer and longer as, you know, time after a DLC or whatever the case is, fizzles out.
It's like 100% quick snap of the fingers, you're in the game. Like, there still is a tiny bit of loading time. So we'll see which direction Sparking Zero decides to go for that. The next feature I want to talk about is camera angles. On Sparking Zero, you can obviously see that the camera isn't directly on the player's back. And what I mean by that is it's not nearly as zoomed in. You get a wider perspective of everything. In Sparking Zero. I actually think that making things further away disconnects the player more from their character. In the original Ultimate Tenkaichi trilogy, you really were playing like up close in front with your character's back towards the camera. And now with the distance away from the camera, it really reminds me more of Xenoverse, which just isn't up close and personal. I think that old feature really put you more into the perspective of the game, especially since this wasn't supposed to be a competitive game. And instead, you're really just supposed to be immersed as the Z fighter that you're playing. Now, while I don't think that this feature is too big to talk about, it is pretty notable and shouldn't be missed if we want Sparking Zero to be more like the original Ultimate Tenkaichi. The next feature I'm going to talk about is the opponent lock-on system.
I don't know, before we get to the next one, I don't know if I care too much about the camera change. I feel like, if anything, I like the new camera. I just think it bugs out a little bit. Like, it clips into the ground and into walls, which is like, not a Dragon Ball game if it doesn't do that. But I just don't know if I prefer BT3's camera. Let me know in the comment section.
In the original Ultimate Tenkaichi, there was a bigger focus on the game being open world. There was a lot more map to play with, and so with that same idea, you didn't exactly have to be locked on to your opponent. And in this game, the only time that you're not locked on to your opponent is when you get hit with a Sparking Zero Ultimate or get hit with an instant transmission, teleport behind the back. Only then will you lose your opponent and be able to move your camera a little bit more freely. Now, I actually think that this feature is huge. Having a camera lock on and lock off system allowed the player to really just move where they wanted to move when they wanted to move there. I remember with my experience playing Ultimate Tenkaichi 3, what me and my friends did was we actually played hide and seek within the match because we weren't forced to be locked on. So therefore,
that's kind of cool. I never thought of doing that, but that's kind of cool.
We could just run away and hide, and you'd have to go out of your way to search for the player, versus now there's more of an auto lock on system and you're just not able to have that free roam, explore the map as you would in the original titles. Now this feature, I actually think that this is more important because now there's a bigger focus on fighting your opponent, which before, yeah, sure, it's a Dragon Ball game, that's what the focus was about. You weren't actually forced into only having to fight your opponent. And especially with like the different camera angles, a viewer in one of my older Sparking Zero videos commented on like pretty much how before he was able to do more role playing in the game. He had a lot more fun just sitting around role playing with the characters. And he said Sparking Zero was the game that he could have dreamed of for years, but now that it's here, he can't even really get into that whole role playing experience. And I think that has a lot to do with the whole lock on opponent system and the camera angles. Maybe
it could also be, and I'd hate to say this, but we're getting older. We're getting older, guys. I'm almost 30. It's a little harder to use your imagination, I will say.
Maybe a combination of those two just takes out the whole I'm playing as this character experience versus I'm just put here to fight. Now, another feature I want to talk about is transformations. Transformations are a little bit different. I don't like transformations. A lot of characters do have transformations, but the transformations that they clearly took out were a lot of the great ape transformations. In the old titles, every original Saiyan had a great ape transformation. Nappa had a transformation. Raditz had a transformation. But the difference with them was they could only transform at night or when the moon was out. Someone like Vegeta, of course, he wouldn't have to rely on the setting of the map, whether it's night or not. But other characters like Raditz or Nappa, they would have to rely on if the moon is out or not, if they want to go Great Ape, because
we need King Vegeta though in the game. Am I wrong?
That was more lore accurate. I think that's a cool little feature that we missed out on in Sparking Zero because it puts us more into the Dragon Ball world. You have to worry about more of the setting and whether it's night or day, versus now like we don't even have nearly as many great apes in the game, which I'm not sure how to feel about that. That feature's
I'm fine with less.
I guess we missed out
great apes. Like
another big
Zaru
feature
is
that
all
we
right.
missed out on is the story mode adventure. In the older games, you were able to fly around this huge map of the.
Okay, wait. We got to get this straight. I know Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I literally started a playthrough on this, and I'll probably finish it at some point if you guys really want me to. I played, I think, like 3 episodes into it. It has the ability for you to explore the map. And it was very reminiscent, if you guys played Legacy of Goku 2 or Boost Fury, very reminiscent of that. And that's what I loved about Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Was being able to fly around the map. It was like literally like so immersive. And that I wanted that in Kakarot. You don't really get that in Kakarot. You get like that overworld map. And I haven't played a ton of Kakarot, so maybe I'm wrong. But like my memory serves me right. It did not have fly to any location in the game. It had like once you're in a certain location, you can fly around that map. And that's cool, but I loved the simplicity of Budokai Tenkaichi 2, even if it isn't a one-to-one scale or anything like that. Like, who cares? We're playing in a world where we can become giant apes and change our hair blonde and get, Zenkai boosts and everything else. We don't need perfect accuracy to how the globe is made, okay? Set the out of bounds and call it a day. I just liked that overworld thing. And then also, just the story mode in general in Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Don't hate me, but I think it's superior to Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and Sparking Zero. I could care less about the Monopoly maps that we have, or life map, whatever you want to call it. The game of Clue as you move across the game board. I know a lot of people like that about, I believe it was Budokai 3 or 2, but it's just not for me.
World, Goku would be flying around Namek, going to different parts to start the mission. I believe that was mostly a feature in Ultimate Tenkaichi 1 and 2.
Bro. Stop! I love you. Stop! Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
I'm not actually sure if that was in Tenkaichi 3, but instead we now switch to the more map layout where we just have a map, click on the level, we play the level.
I feel like this game needed another year.
To, explore, find cool things, and even pick up Dragon Balls. So there was a lot less of an interactive story mode, which kind of sucks because I know a lot of people say they only really play the Sparking Zero offline and story mode. So in that aspect, there's not even really much there for them. Now, especially since we talked about all the features that we missed out on, we should talk about what we did gain with the new title of Sparking Zero.
All right, let's hear it.
The first thing that comes to mind is the level creation. We could create our own levels with a lot of different dialogue options, and that is pretty cool. There's infinite creativity in this custom.
So he says that, with custom battles, I'm gonna give it to you straight, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it. I get that there's some that are cool, but so far, I have not been driven to play any of them. I'm pretty bored of them. And that sucks because I really wanted to have a good experience with custom battles. I just don't think the CPUs are strong enough or tough enough. So it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Some world building. Now, do I personally think it could be better? Yeah, sure, but it is a new feature and it is pretty cool. Although this...
You also don't build levels. You build a story around levels that already exist. I'm not saying you're allowed to enjoy it. Just saying it's not exactly all as customizable as you want it. It'd be sick if we had like something like Brawl where we can, or was it Brawl? I think it was Brawl. Smash Bros. Where you can like build your own stage. Like that was cool. But I just think the stage destruction like wouldn't allow it.
This is actually the only real main new feature that I could think of. There are some similarities between Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and Sparking Zero. First thing that comes to mind is the encyclopedia, where you could learn about every character through girl talk. Before it was
that's just a one-time gimmick.
Chi-Chi was describing every character, but now it is Videl, Bulma, and Chi-Chi. You get to hear all of them talk about it. Another similarity is secret battles or secret paths. In the story mode, Sparking Zero, you could beat the level in different ways to unlock different paths.
Okay, so I just don't think he's played the other ones because that's existed. What ifs have been a thing for a while. I know they call it sparking episodes in this, or sparking if what was it? I think it's sparking episodes. In Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3, I know for sure they had what ifs. In the original Budokai 2, I think actually Budokai 2 and Budokai 3, they all had what ifs. So I mean, what ifs has been around for a long time, you know, almost 30 years. But it's just that a lot of kids are coming around now finally to play it, and it's a new experience for them because Kakarot really didn't have what ifs. Xenoverse is its own what if, right? But it's just one of those things where like if it beats their expectations, I get they're going to be impressed, but to me that was an expectation, the what ifs.
Rather like to unlock hidden paths and hidden storylines, and that feature is not new. There was something like that in Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3, but I don't believe it was nearly to the extent of Sparking Zero. And those are the main features that we really missed out on in Sparking Zero. This game is new, and I don't see them giving up on this game anytime soon. We are only going to get more features with Sparking Zero. Like
I'm glad he knew. I'm glad he knew. For a minute there, I thought he didn't know. He knew.
New 2v2 mode, and hopefully they add more than just 2v2, but 2v2 would be crazy just as it is.
2v2s.
Having 4 people in a match duke it out. I'm already excited.
Dude, I have been saying, I wrote it on so many things, that Tenkaichi Tag Team had such a good idea to have 2 people fight 2 people. And even if it's 1v1 and then like you trade out and your teammate comes in, it doesn't have to be 2 on screen at the same time. So good. So good. And I don't think it'll be that hard to like iterate. I understand it might be hard for them to do 2 players against 2 players at the same time. But if we can have teams where like my buddy Jake hops on and he's playing next to me, and like when I finish, he takes over the next control rather than me having to be in the same room and hand him the controller, that would be great. That would be so sick. And I know that's possible. I know for a fact that's possible. I don't understand what it is to be a dev, but with Unreal, you can do that. So let's make that happen, please. I would love that. Especially if you had like a team ranked. Could you imagine team ranks where like you set up like a clan or something and like you can go and play as your team, and only when you guys play together does your ranked score start gaining. And like if you go and play with someone else, you have a separate ranked score. Like that would be so cool. I don't know if that could happen, but like a team mode, even if it's just ranked, not ranked, would be so cool. Also, while we're on the topic, quick play needs to be quick play. I understand. I'm so happy that there's rooms. I talked about this with Avatar Yaya, that like it's a good thing there's rooms in this game because a lot of games that are in the anime scene don't launch with rooms. But if we could get a quick match mode where it's just like I start the game and it works exactly like ranked. Exactly. That would be optimal because I would rather do that than do ranked play. Personally, I'm not a sweat. I'm just looking to have fun.
Excited for it. But we did miss out on a lot of the things that made the Ultimate Tenkaichi franchise more unique and let the player dive more into the game, be more immersed. And so right now I feel like the main problem with Sparking Zero may just be it's hard for the players to get nearly as immersed as they were in the Ultimate Tenkaichi days. So we might see some changes to focus on immersion, or they might go a different route. But personally, the one feature I do want to see them add or make a return is the opponent lock-on, lock-off system. If that makes a return, I think this game would just be like absolutely magnificent. Like you're just going to be able to move around and do what you want. And by that, I just mean camera angle wise. But until we see some changes, a lot of new players will just miss out on the original experience. With that being said, that's all the features that I could really think of. Let me know if there's any other features that I missed in this video, or if there's some features that you want to see return in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. With that, I'll catch you.
I gotta say, I think we need to change the games to Dragon Ball Ultimate Tenkaichi Zero. I think that would be the best thing. Yo, Monsoon, thank you so much for this video, bro. Like, YouTube recommended it to me, so you're in the algorithm right now. And I hope you continue to grow, buddy. This was a good video. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and check out this video that's on screen right now, because YouTube seems to think you're going to enjoy it.